sipped it. I'm getting too old now and work too much for those kinds of nights now, though. If you work too much, why not do something about it? Only you are in control of your own destiny, my guy. Like, if you're unhappy with your life, only you can change it. You just have to realize what those changes are and act on them. Obviously, it's not going to happen overnight, but it's a journey that you have to undertake. It's a journey that I'm still undertaking myself. I still don't know what my identity is. In fact, until now, I've assumed that my identity was something that I've assumed by amalgamating everybody else's identity that I've ever met. And just trying to see like what they've did, what works for them. And trying to implement it into what became my own. But at the end of the day, like, you gotta find yourself. You gotta do what makes you happy. And if working a 9-to-5 job or working whatever you do, wherever you're at right now, if there's no purpose in it, then it's not worth doing. You gotta think, what is this doing for me? What is the purpose of what I am doing now? And how is this preparing me for the future? Only by answering that question can you determine your path in life. Now, of course, I'm no peer support specialist, but I've been through a few rodeos. I have a brother with not special needs, but mental health issues very similar to my own in a very different sense. And we've seen our fair share of things. So, even though we are still working on ourselves, we've also learned a lot in our travels. And I'm more than happy to impart that knowledge onto any of you guys that are struggling right now. Freezy have a meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m., so I need sleep. Okay, take care, Radiant. Have a good one. The medical and money are both necessary right now. It'll just help, and I don't want to drink for the wrong reasons. That's fine. That's totally okay. That's valid, and I respect that decision. Not everybody should drink. In fact, drinking is it can become an unhealthy obsession. It can lead to addiction very quickly, just like alcohol, well, just like cigarettes, or tobacco, or weed. It's just, you have to regulate yourself. You have to realize what your boundaries are before you end up crossing them. I refuse to drink point blank. I can't live without my morning coffee, though. Hey, that's you. You gotta do what works for you, man. I respect your decision to abstain from alcohol, though. It's done pretty awful things to people that can't control what they do. I will say, people with no self-control have no business trying addictive substances, even if it is an escape from the actual world that they live in or the misery that they face every day. There's no point. It's not helping them, it's only harming them further. In fact, I probably also drink for the wrong reasons. I drink to try to mask my anxiety. I try to make myself more socially available, to break down those mental barriers that I've built up inside from not wanting to say the wrong thing whenever I meet somebody for the first time. That's why I drink. I drink because I feel like it is a necessary mechanism for me to cope with the world at large. And obviously I don't do it all the time, but in certain circumstances, when I'm in social circles or when I'm in a gathering or a party or whatever, you know, yeah, I'll probably drink a fair amount to let my guard down. Because if I don't, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit there and feel like I'm a fly on the wall. It can. It definitely can. You're absolutely right, lowercase. It can be quite toxic. It's a downward spiral. If you can't control what you do, and you feel that the only way to mask your pain is by drowning it in addictive substances, then you're just going to repeat this. You're just going to repeat the cycle. A few people in my family are alcoholics, or were alcoholics. Some of them are dead now. Some of them were smokers. They were all addicted to different things. Meanwhile, Kazuma is listening intently. I'm sorry. It could be that I'm drunk, that I'm getting on these weird-ass tangents. But, like, I think at the end of the day, some of this stuff does need to be said. Because a lot of people think just like, yeah, getting drunk is fine every once in a while, you can do it. But everybody has a reason. Whether they realize it or not, they have a reason for wanting to drink. It's not just for recreation. They're masking some sort of feeling. And they refuse to acknowledge that because it's like, yeah, it's just for fun. We're just kind of just trying to fuck around. But there's always a reason. Just like there's a reason behind everything everyone does. Nothing is ever done just for the fuck of it. You either want to do it or you are curious about it. So either one of those two feelings. It's not just, yeah, oh, well, you know, whatever, YOLO, right? Well, that's what everybody says. Like YOLO. If alcohol is your therapist, you need a different therapist later. Facts. Absolute facts. I fucking could not agree more, Zero Studios. I think a lot of people I used to as well use alcohol as a crutch. And you know what? It's a completely valid reason to... It's a completely valid reason to have that crutch. But at the same time, it shouldn't be your only reason. If you feel that alcohol is your only way to cope, then you need to be able to be open to learning new skills, learning from professionals and seeking out that professional help. Even if you really, deep down inside, you don't feel like you need professional help. You feel like you're fine. You feel like nothing's gonna happen. You feel like you're not suicidal. You feel like you're going to be okay. You are probably not okay. And your mind is screaming at you and you're blocking it out. You need to act on that. Because I've seen time and time again that so many people have fallen victim to their own thoughts. So many people have fallen victim to the repeating self-talk that just echoes inside your head. You'd be better off gone. You'd be better off dead. Nobody cares about you. That is so fucking not true. Every goddamn person on this earth has a reason to live. I don't care who you are, what you have done, you have a reason to be here. It is what you do with that gift of life that determines your worth on this earth. I could not have said it better than Mewtwo did in the original Pokemon movie. It is not the gift of life that is important. It is what you do with it. So even if you are hurting and you are in pain and you feel like nobody is listening to you right now and you feel like you just are an absolute nuisance, you feel like everybody hates you, you are so wrong. That's okay. That's okay. You know what, Zero? I apologize. You're right. If I apologize for making anybody feel uncomfortable. I was getting very... I felt like I was getting very passionate there. I felt like that needed to be said. But if anybody does feel uncomfortable with what I said, or if anybody feels triggered by any of the words that I've used, I do apologize. But I do hope that people can take away from this discussion things that I have said with a grain of salt. At least maybe consider them. That's all. I'll get back to the game now. I apologize. Yeah, at the end of the day, whatever you are, you matter. Your rights matter. Your feelings matter. Your emotions matter. And nobody should tell you anything different. But it's not right.